Hi there! Dean Martin's Ain't That a Kick in the Head. The orchestra arranged for one acoustic guitar. Standard tuning, tabs in the description. Let's go!
How to play Ain't That a Kick in the Head.
And we start out in the intro with the D7 on 5th fret. And this one switching to C sharp 7 on the 4th, same position, with that rhythm. So this is down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. Then some notes in between, 7, 5, 6, 4, 5, 3 on D and G. And then you have to jump from that 5, 3 back to the D7, which is a little tricky, gotta practice that. Second time, same riff, but a little softer. And the first time you play all the way through to the E, because your melody line is here. Second time just to the B string, because your melody line is here. So all together. And let's get into the singy parts. Okay, it starts out with D major, 5th fret again, and the strumming is kind of like down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But of course we have a lot of orchestration to put in there, and that means you have to use your magic pinky a lot. And the first thing we have is the orchestrator does that. So you have your chord. And you just go 5, 9 with your pinky on from E to B string. Next we go into the D major 7. Same strumming. But now the line would be up here, and that is kind of hard to do in this position. So what we do is we start here with the same strumming, but then we move the same chord down to this position, O222 from the D string. That means we lose the E, but we don't need it anymore. We just need F sharp and F here for the melody line. So you start here. Then to the D7, and since we're here, we're gonna stay in this position. Just go from O222 to O212. Like the fellow once said. Now for Ain't That a Kick in the Head, we go up to the E minor 7 flat 5, which is just the E minor 7 with the 5th diminished by 1 to that position. Then just switch your middle and your ring, and you have it. And you can either play it with the E string all the way through, or just the middle 4 strings. So we go like the fellow once said, ain't that a kick in the head. Then go into A7 on the 5th fret here, because we need our pinky again. Here on the 8th fret, because you go 5 E string, 8, 5 B string. And you always have one short and one long note, so you go short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, long. And you use alternate picking, so up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, or up at the end, whatever you like. And that with the chord underneath then would be. Alright, this pattern is gonna come back a lot of times with different chords throughout the song. So after A7 it goes up to E minor. So we started out in D, now we go to E as our bass. And we start out in E minor. Then the melody line goes 8B, 11 G string. So you have to, when you strum it, have to know when to play all the way to the B and when to stop at the G. And your pinky shifts here from 9 to 11 and back to 9 on the G string. The room was completely black. Next E minor 7. I hugged her and she hugged back. And now we go to the very funky E minor 6. So 6 means we had our 5 here, right? So 6 is here on the 11. The rest stays like in the E minor 7. So this is your E minor 6, and you go from E minor 7. And we don't switch between the two because that would break your little fingers. And also we can marinate a little bit in this E minor 6 because it's so swell. The room was completely black. She acted back. Then we move down to A major in standard position. Like the sailor said, quote, A7, ain't that a hole in a boat, D. But up here on the 5th, because we have some more pinky action again. This time 7-5 on the E string and 7 on the B string. And pretty much the same strumming pattern we had before on the A7 part. But this time like that. And then we go in kind of a bridge part where we shift the 7 chord along the fretboard, starting on F sharp, B, E, and A7. And the strumming to that, originally I wanted to do it all just quarter notes. But if you have a Western acoustic like that, then it can lead to very harsh attacks. So I thought for the first time around, just do a little smoother. My head is spinning, I'll go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be. And now you go, bum on the 1, and then the chord. Beautiful, and you can put a stroke on every one of the syllables. Okay, let's recap all that we had after the intro. Next part, which is kind of the chorus, we have the major, major 7 and D7 all back to back. Sunshine enough to spread, be just like the fella said. E minor 7, tell me quick, ain't love a A7 kick in the head. And now we have a little interlude, which alternates between the D major 7 and the D major. So you could do it here, which is the easier way, but I changed it an octave up to here, 11, 10, 9 from the D string down. But you can't use the standard ring middle index position here, because you need your middle for the melody line here. So you have to do pinky on G, ring on B, and index on E. And that's a little tricky because you're probably not used to that position. So it helps to already visualize it when you hear in the A7 and then slide into that. And it's a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, then we have a variation of the intro riff. We started the intro on the D and then go into the C sharp. Now we start on the C sharp going to the D. And we don't do it up here, but up here because our melody line is a little higher. It's here. So we start with the C sharp 7 on the 9th fret here and go. Then we have some notes in between, which is 11-10 on G and B and 10-9 on G and B. Then we go back to the original position from the start. But again, we start with C#7. So, and again, a little softer than the first time. And your melody line goes. So here we don't play the E string. And then again, some notes in between, and this is 7-7-6-6 on G and B. So the whole part. Okay, then repetition, a reprise of the chorus, like the following said, D major 7. And now you can just move your position that you have. All fingers can stay on the strings that they are. You just move them up to the E-7 flat 5, which means you move the index up by 2 half steps and all the others by half a step. Like that. Someone said, ain't that a kick in the head? And before, from here we went to the A7, but we stay in E. So we go into the E-7. And this one is kind of like the ones we had with the pinky action here. But here we start off with a pull-off on a 10-8 of the B string. And after that, it's again into that pattern that we had on A and D before. So we have down, down on the B with the pull-off, then up on 7-9 on A and B. And then we have that pattern again, and your pinky moves from 10 of the B string to 9 of the G string. And from here we go to the same alternate riffing that we had on the D string before with the 9-10. But all this in E, so that means 11-12. Now, if you don't have a cutaway like I do, then you might run into some trouble here, literally, because the body blocks your hand. So what you could do if you don't have a cutaway, just play from the G string down 12, 11, 11, 13, 12, 12. But of course it's nicer if you have all 6 strings, and then you go from the C sharp on 11 here to the E7 on 12. Then some notes in between, which is 13-12 to 12-11. But now we go into the E-7 instead of the E7 up here, so it's 6-8-6-7. And the notes after that are 9-8, 8-7 on G and B. So that whole part. And finally we have something that repeats, which is here on A major standard position, like the sailor said quote, A7, ain't that a hole in a boat, D with pinky action. And we go again into the bridge with the F sharp. A little thing about the singing here, if you get out of this D part into the F sharp part, you have to know where to put your my head keeps. So it's on the 5 after the last 7 on the E string. My head keeps. And then you get into that bridge part. And this time we do these quarters, but be mindful that you don't do it too hard to have too much attack, because that will sound terrible. So what you do is you stroke with confidence, but a little laid back, a little muted, like something like that. So with conviction, but reserved at the same time. If this is just the beginning, more life is gonna be. And again, on the 1, and then. Beautiful. Okay, let's recap that whole second part. Next up, we have that part again with that major 7/7. Before we had sunshine enough to spread. Now we have different lyrics. She's telling me we'll be wet. This is really a nice part because you have this major 7/7 that really is the essence of that song all in a couple of seconds. Great. But different lyrics. She's telling me we'll be wet. B7, she picked out a king-size bed. Now we have a little extra round going into E again. And that one was the hardest part to figure out. Because you have to listen to what he sings. And he does C sharp. Couldn't be any B better. Alright, B A sick. And you gotta put that into your E chords. And that means when we start with a C sharp, that means that is the 11 here, the 6. So we start with E minor 6. Couldn't feel any. Next, the B is in the normal E minor. Better. Alright, B stays on there, but we can do the E minor 7 to switch it up. Couldn't feel any better. Alright, B sick. And that's tricky because A7 would fit sick, but it's kind of too easy. So what they do is, I think it's B7. But the A kind of fits anyways, so I did a little workaround. I start with the A, do a hammer on, and then go into the B7. But actually into the B7 sus4 with the 5 here on the B string. And the melody line goes 5B, 2E, 4B. So we go. It's a little tricky to use the F sharp here on the E string as the melody note. Gotta practice that to pick the right strings down here. And we finish off with the same B7 but up here on the 7th fret. So we have our B here on the E string as extra note. And last chorus. So tell me quick. But this one goes a little longer than the other one. We go E minor 7. Hey, love a kick. E minor. Tell me quick. E minor 7. And now A7. In the head. If you know the song, then you realized there was something different that I did here. Because I went through it a little quicker. Normally they do. So tell me quick. Hey, love a kick. Tell me quick, and love a kick in the head. 2 reasons why I don't do this in this guitar version. Because I think if you do that stuff on the G minor, it kind of takes away from the effect of the G minor. Because if you have it like that, you really hear the G minor. And the other thing is, if you get into that quarter strumming pattern, it's really driving the song here. If you do that stuff, hey, love a kick, and then go into it, it doesn't really work together, you know what I mean? And third reason is, the original line is something like, something with an F sharp. And you can't really do that with G minor. So I'd rather just do the short version. Snappy, cool, I like it. If you want to do the long version, try to do it. I just prefer the short one. Okay, tell me quick, ain't love a kick. Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head. And the last riff variation, this time we have some sliding action. And we go in it an 8th after the 1. In the head. And it's always, you stroke once, slide, stroke one, slide, stroke one, slide, stroke one. Like that. down slide, up slide, down slide, up slide. Except for the ending. And then the last lick. Start on the G string, 7th fret. New record! Then 7/6 on D and G, which would normally be here, but in context it's better here. And 2 more chords, A7, all the way through, all 6 strings, and D major on the 10th fret here, because we need this final note. Yes, we got it! All the third part all together. Dean Martin's Ain't That a Kick in the Head. Beautiful song with a lot of chord changes. More chord changes in 2 minutes 20 than most artists of today have on a whole album, and sadly that's not even a lie. So, make your own version, have fun with it. See ya, bye.